Hello, salutations, what it do? It's Dr. Gamer back at you with another Marvel's Avengers video. Hope you all have been safe and happy. It is once again time for the weekly recap where I go over everything that happened this past week in the Marvel's Avengers community. It was a lot going on, got a lot to talk about, but before we get into it, make sure you smash that like button. It helps tremendously with the YouTube overlords, and make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a notification. We are on the road to 2,000 subs. I'm trying to hit that by next month. I know we can do it. Also, if you haven't already, become a Defender today. For just $2.99 a month, you get access to badges, custom emotes, early access to videos, member exclusive content, as well as weekly gaming sessions with yours truly. So if you want to sign up, hit that join button today. It helps support the channel and allows me to not get a real job. Now, without further ado, let's jump right into this video. So this week was part 2 of the Red Room takeover, as well as the debut of the MCU Iron Man and MCU Hulk skins. And of course, we know which of those two skins was much more well received. Iron Man, of course. The Red Room takeover, not so much. The event itself, people were disappointed that there was no Yelena boss fight. There honestly wasn't much to the event. You got exotics for your characters, but a lot of people were having trouble even just getting past the first wave. There were bugs. People couldn't get the nameplate for the team if you completed the whole thing. And even if you did have everything work, there wasn't really much to it. Even the XP gain wasn't that much, even with the consumable, which made its debut in the marketplace this week for free. And that consumable we were promised would be a plus 50% boost to our experience gain. Turned out to not be anywhere near that. So that was a letdown. But we also had the developer stream. I live streamed that on Friday. A bunch of you came out. It was a lot of fun and we got a lot of info, even though Phil was by himself. He answered a ton of questions, and as you can imagine, there was a bit of controversy, and we'll get into that in just a minute. First off, they are aware of the number of bugs that popped up in the past week. There was, of course, I mentioned the bugs with the harm room, the bugs with the gear drop from patch 1.7 that dropped on Tuesday. People are getting a ton of level 127 and level 129 gear, which obviously was not supposed to happen. They are aware of all of these and are getting a fix. Same thing goes with the Mega Hive, which made its debut, much to everyone's disappointment, after being disabled for a few weeks because of the bug that allowed people to see MCU skins early. The Hive is back, but that one is bugged a little bit as well. The progress reset seems to have been fixed, but people were getting gray gear. That's the lowest possible rarity of gear. I got some on stream when I did the Mega Hive, so not great. Fortunately, it didn't happen to me when I completed the Mega Hive. It just happened with the first 2 levels. They are aware of that apparently and are working on a fix. There was some good news. The first Omega level threat seems to be pretty much done. They are going to run some last minute testing on it, and if everything goes according to plan, the next patch will finally bring us the first Omega level threat, which of course will be the Super Adaptoid. We've been waiting for months and we're finally closing in on it, and we will finally get some in-game content for us tryhards to play multiplayer. That should be a lot of fun. Now, as for MCU skins, Phil told us on stream that there would be no more. That's the end. No more MCU skins this month. Iron Man and Hulk were the last, so we will not be getting any more MCU skins until June. If you looked at the updated roadmap, you'll see that June has endgame skins listed. So everyone is expecting Thor and Captain America as the last 2, and they should probably be out around the time of the Cosmic Cube, which is also in June. So now onto the controversy. The champion system was brought up because that's one of the things that is bugged. People were noticing that when they spent their points to particularly boost the combat side, you can get the plus 3% melee, range, or heroic damage. And people were noticing that they weren't getting that at all. They were, in fact, getting 3 points. So they were pointing out that seems to be a bug. Instead of giving you 3%, you're only getting 3. So if you maxed it out, like I did, instead of getting a 15% boost to your damage, you're only getting a 15 point, which is obviously completely useless and not worth grinding XP for, even if you're using the exploits that let you do it really fast. And this was brought up on stream. The devs said they are aware of it, but unfortunately, I don't know if Phil made a mistake or didn't fully understand what was happening, but when he brought up the champion system bug, he said, as far as they could tell, the champion system was working as intended, and that the issue seems to be a visual bug that is not showing accurately what you're supposed to get, which is an amazing statement, and I hope it's not true. They said they're still looking into it to see if there's a bug, but the impression seems to be that it is working as intended. And if that is true, then that's incredibly bad. So absolute best case scenario for this champion system thing is Phil has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. The champion system is bugged, it's not working as intended, and they will have a fix for it soon. That's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is that what Phil said is accurate and that they intended for the melee range and heroic damage boost to only be 3 points instead of 3%, in which case they completely misled us, because I have the footage on stream when they brought on their lead designer to talk about the champion system. They said 3%. People specifically asked what the boost was for the combat tree, and they, on stream, Phil, Layla, Andy were all there with the lead designer, and they showed it and talked about it on stream. You're supposed to get 3% for your melee, your range, or your heroic damage. That was on stream. They said this. That was the UI. That was confirmation from them, and that's how it appeared. So naturally, people who wanted their booster combat spent their points on those trees. So if it was intended to actually not be that boggles the mind how they would possibly mess it up. How do you literally say it's 3% on stream when you're showcasing the whole tree, and then when people say actually it's bugged, it's not working like it's supposed to, like it says, oh, actually it's supposed to be 3 points. That doesn't make any sense. That's stupid. So if that is the case, and God, I hope they don't do this, but if they update it and instead of fixing the percentages so that they're actually doing what they say they are, if they instead just change the UI so it says 3 points, then that's a massive problem, and they're going to need to refund everyone's skill points, because obviously none of us would have allocated any of our champion points if they were going to only give us a 3-point boost, because obviously that's completely useless. What are you going to do with that? That doesn't do anything. That has no effect on the gameplay, which is what people were complaining about when they got the boost and tried it out. That makes no sense. And that's completely contrary to what they pitched the champion system as. They said, while it wouldn't make you OP, it would make you significantly stronger. And someone that's level 50 would be at a disadvantage compared to someone that's max champion level. And if this is working as intended, then that's not at all the case. And there was either a massive communication issue or they're trying to gaslight us. Either way, they need to actually have someone other than Phil come out and clarify exactly what is going on with the champion system, because either it's bugged, in which case fine, fix it, or it's not bugged and you guys have a lot of explaining to do. So hopefully they get that sorted out soon, because otherwise the champion system is entirely pointless and a waste of everyone's time. So in the meantime, I recommend don't spend your champion points, especially on the combat side, until this whole thing gets sorted out. And if you spend them already, I'm sorry, you're probably not getting back. Hopefully they're going to boost that, because I can't imagine they'll keep it as is, because there would be so much pushback. So it's only a matter of time before they change it, I hope. So we'll have to see about that. Now, for the good, we had some juicy rumors coming out. According to Miller, for those who don't know, Miller is a top creator in the Marvel's Avengers community and was most known for being a data miner who leaked a bunch of stuff about the game early on, which really drove up excitement and kept people engaged while the game was going through a very rough patch. According to him on his stream, he seems to be very confident that Black Panther and Spider-Man will be dropping at the same time, and the second villain for the Wakanda expansion is going to be Ultron, which would be sick. We already know Claw is a confirmed villain. That will also be a raid that will be featured with the Wakanda expansion, but he says Ultron will be joining him, which will be insane. If you've been following along with the game, you know that they've been teasing Ultron this whole time with Roy. They've been building it up slowly. So if he's ready to go by the time of Wakanda, that would be an awesome inclusion, because Ultron is, of course, an iconic villain, even though it's another robot. Him and Claw would be very awesome additions to the game. In addition to Spider-Man, that would be an awesome update. And there is reason to think that the Wakanda expansion is dropping in the summer, because Phil let it slip on stream that they are going to be introducing a new major faction in the summer. And of course, the only new major faction that they could be possibly adding is Claw's faction, which we know is going to be part of the Wakanda expansion. And if that's the case, that means they are confident Wakanda will be out by the summer, which means the roadmap pretty much will play out, barring any setbacks, as it appears. Cosmic Cube June, Patrol Mode July, Wakanda August, which would be perfect for this game as long as everything actually, works. That's the other thing. It's not just getting stuff out on time now, it's making sure that when it drops, it's actually effective. But if they pull that off, that would be a massive boost for the game. Having Black Panther, Spider-Man, Ultron at the same time would be insane. There would be so much hype, so many new players, and it just sounds like a lot of fun. So fingers crossed they can actually pull this off, because this game definitely needs some good news. People have been hanging on. They've shown some strides, but whenever they do something great, it seems like they take a few steps back. So hopefully they can just be consistent and on top of things. And I think if they can at least get back in the office, that should, in theory, improve things quite a bit. But even still, they got to do better. Especially with communication and the bug fixing, they got to make sure that this stuff is working when it launches and is actually worth our time. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to support the channel. And if you are interested in some awesome new gear, I have some merch. It will be the top link in the description, and it is another way to support the channel. I'm Sadat the Gamer, signing out.